لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين.
نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الحنين الكريم الرؤوف الرحيم. أما بعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. By the grace and blessings of Almighty Allah, we discussed many basic issues and meanings of the word Khilafah and various words and terms used for the same thing in the light of Quran and in the light of Hadith and Sunnah, their implications and many other important relevant things were covered, alhamdulillah ta'ala, in our previous lecture. Today I am proceeding with the concept that why Islamic State. So I will use the word Islamic State, Ad-Dawla al-Islamiyya. The same is, as I have already explained, the same Ad-Dawla al-Islamiyya or Islamic State. The same is Khilafah, the same is Al-Imara, the same is Al-Imama, the same is Al-Mulk, the same is Al-Sultan. All these words and terms are synonymous. They are used for expressing the same reality, and that is the Islamic State. Now, why this Khilafah or establishment of Islamic government is necessary? Islam, the answer is that Islam is not only a philosophy or a religion for propagation. Islam is a complete code of life, and more than that, it is a complete system to be enforced. System to be enforced, which prescribes the rights of the citizen, their duties and obligations, relationships of various people, rights of individuals, right of society as a whole, relationship between the individual and the society, and the laws relating to families, laws relating to the social matters, the social laws, the matrimonial laws, the civil laws, the public laws, the financial and monetary laws, then the taxation laws like zakah and osher and all these things, zakat and osher, and criminal and penal laws, the crimes, their punishments, their executions, the procedural laws, then the courts, the systems, establishment of the courts, establishment of the institutions, execution, enforcement. So Islam has given a complete code for each and every aspect and each and every angle of human life, in its individual and private sphere, to its collective and public sphere, and to its national sphere. Then moreover, this becomes a society. Then there are many human societies in this world. Then Islam has given the laws, commandments and instructions and guidance for establishing relationship between various societies. Then laws regarding the wars, laws regarding the treaties, laws regarding the peace, then laws regarding the rights of the non-Muslim minorities living in an Islamic State, and so on and so forth. So all of these things which have been provided by Holy Quran and Sunnah, and the practice, Islamic practice, given by Holy Prophet ﷺ to his Ummah. So each and everything needs an enforcement, an execution. So enforcement is not an individual matter. It is not to be done by an individual. It is to be done by an organized institution. It is an institutionalized thing. So somebody is required to enforce it. Somebody is required to fulfill these rights. Somebody is required to take care of the fulfillment of the obligations. Somebody is required to execute the punishment. Somebody is required to maintain the relationships and maintain the rights and obligations and duties. So it needs that society should be organized. And if a society is organized, the organization is known as government. If a man is organized, so individual organization of a man is its character and integrity of character. And if the whole society is organized, so it needs an organization. So this organization, a collective organization, which runs the affairs of a society, that is the government. So you have to install a government in order to fulfill all the requirements of human society and in order to enforce whatever has been revealed by Almighty Allah, whatever has been communicated by Holy Prophet to the mankind. That's why Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he migrated to Medina, his first 13 years of Meccan life was propagational life. He concentrated on propagation, on preaching, on spiritual training, on aqeedah, on tarbiyah, conceptual purity, spiritual purity, character building, preparing a community of faithful people, and so on. So when he migrated to Medina, so the first thing which he did was establishment of a state. So it needs its society to deal with the war matters. If enemy attacks on the society, Muslim Ummah or Islamic society, or a Muslim community living at any place, who will defend them? So they need a force, an army. Who will establish an army? Who will pay for that? Who will collect the revenues? So all these things need the necessity of the government, of the state and the government. So same is the philosophy of establishment of the state and government in, you can say, in Western political science. And they said the societies were living in a natural human environment, and they finally agreed on entering into a contract. They know the social contract theory. So it was a social contract which ended into the formation of a state. And so the same is, you can say, this is a common need for everyone, whether Muslim or non-Muslim community. Human needs are same and similar. So Islam also recommends, approves, and agrees with the same philosophy, that it is needed. That's why Islamic State is needed, and there is no Islamic State or Islamic government without a head of the state, head of the government. So state and the government needs a head, chief executive. Now you may call him with any name. And we have discussed this matter of names in our previous lecture. So this whole phenomena and philosophy has been mentioned in this hadith, and this hadith is said to be the qawl, the statement of Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. So it is asar of Sahaba, asar of Sayyidina Umar, or technically speaking it can also be declared as hadith, because this is qawl marfu' of Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. He stated, La Islam illa bi jama'atin, la jama'ata illa bi imaratin, la imarata illa bi ta'atin. This is the qawl of Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. there is no Islam without Jama'ah. And there is no Jama'ah without Imara. And then there is no Imara without Ta'ah. So this is the crux or summary of the whole discussion in the form of hadith. Qawl of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu. La Islama, it means that there would be no enforcement of Islam, but there would be no existence of Islam as a system. Without Jama'ah. Jama'ah means collectivity, a society, a collective society. An organized society is known as state. An organized society fulfilling certain characters or certain conditions is known as a state. Having the government or authority or the sovereignty and territory, there is no collective existence of Islam without an organized society, bi jama'ah, without an organized society. Wala jama'ata illa bil imara. And there would be no organized society without a headship, without its chief, without its head. So it should be headed by someone. There should be there should be someone working as the leader, as the head of the society. So here lies the philosophy of Jama'ah, lies the society of the state, and bil imara, here lies the philosophy of Imara and Khilafah. This is the only phenomena. And then la imarata illa bita'ah. So there is no imara, no chiefhood, no headship without ta'ah, obedience. Then obedience should be rendered to the head, to the chief. So he would be the chief executive or he would be Amir. You may give any name to him, but he deserves your obedience. So he would be the superordinate and the people would be subordinate, and there would be a relation between Hakim and Mahkum, Amir and the people and Ri'ayah. He would be Mas'ul. So he would be liable to, he would be asked about his people, about the society. So he would be responsible for your matters. So this is the concept of Jama'ah and collectivity. And this protects the rights and the benefits and interests of Ummah. This provides the guarantee to the protection of the rights, this whole system. Now, the Khilafah or Islamic government or Islamic State or Islamic Imara or Al-Mulk al-Islami, whatever you say, Al-Hukum al-Islamiyya, Al-Dawla al-Islamiyya. So the basic reason of its establishment is Iltizamul Jama'ah. Is Iltizamul Jama'ah. Quran says, وَأَتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. It has its two meanings. One for the whole ummah, to avoid from tafarruq, from being parts and sects, to avoid from sectarianism, sectionalism and sectarianism, and to be unite and could remain collective. So this is Iltizamul Jama'ah. And Holy Prophet ﷺ says, Alaykum bil Jama'ah wa iyyakum wal furqa. It is incumbent on you to be attached with Jama'ah, to remain with Jama'ah. And always avoid from furqa, detachment. Avoid from being alone. Don't remain alone. Don't get detached from the Jama'ah, from the collective existence of Ummah, or collective existence of the Muslims. Now, very important thing. This was the first was the basic reason is iltizamul jama'ah, to maintain jama'ah, organized collectivity, to maintain, to protect and to promote the organized collectivity. That's why Holy Prophet ﷺ did in the form of establishing the state, Islamic State of Medina, and he wrote and he gave a written constitution under the name of the Misaq-e-Medina. I'll show you now. Today we will discuss some of the aspects. These are, according to my analysis, it consists of 63 articles. An analysis of Dr. Hamidullah, marhum. According to his analysis, there were 47 articles. Text is the same, but I have developed its division more up to 63 articles. And he gave the list of 47 articles in his book. So this is one and the same thing. This is just a matter of further classification or division or categorization or articulation. So this constitution was given to the Society of Medina, and Society of Medina was organized, and the Holy Prophet was declared to be the head. He was declared to be the head. And you see, if the word Khalifa was necessary for the head of the state, if it had been necessary, then Holy Prophet ﷺ would have put the word Khalifa in this constitution, and he would have declared himself Khalifatullah, or Khalifa of the Dawlatul Medina. Or he would have said this state of Medina is Khilafah from today. I just told you the Khilafah means the vicegerency and representation. So it started afterwards. It started, but even Holy Prophet was Khalifatullah. He was Khalifa of Almighty Allah. And his Khilafah was Khilafah al-Khilafatul Ilahiyya. But he did not choose this word for him or for the state. Which means that using this word is not compulsory, according to the Sunnah of Holy Prophet. This caption is not compulsory or indispensable, or it is not imperative that only this word should be used as the name of the state of Islam. No. Holy Prophet didn't choose this name. But he gave this name for his successors, other people who came after him. So it means it is permissible and sunnah, not incumbent, permissible sunnah. And the second reason of this imara, al-imama, al-khilaf, the second reason of establishment of imara and imama and Islamic State is as-sam'u wa-ta'ah. I have already explained. Quran says, Atiullah wa atiur Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. So itaat and obedience is of three levels. First is of itaat of Almighty Allah. There is an absolute obedience. Then is itaatul Rasul. There is also permanent and absolute obedience, but in representative manner. Holy Prophet ﷺ represents Almighty Allah, being the direct recipient of Allah's authority. Being a direct recipient of Almighty Allah's authority. And he exercises Almighty Allah's will. And he gets Allah's words. And he communicates Allah's words to the people. So he is his mandoob, his Rasul, his representative in all aspects. So, second ita'atul Rasul. This is again permanent because he is representing the ita'at of Almighty Allah. That is which is permanent in its nature and unqualified. So after Holy Prophet. So if the society is to be organized till the day of judgment in all times to come, so it needs its leadership every time. So the leaders of the Muslim Ummah and the Muslim society would be the successors of Holy Prophet. Would be al-ulama warathatul anbiya. So ulama are the leaders of the Ummah. So they are Khalifa. And they are warasa. and they are successors. Awliya are successors. Aimma mujtahideen are his successors in ilm. So ulil amr. So it is sometimes amr is in hukuma and sometimes amr is in ilm. Imama siyasiya and imama diniya, imama ilmiya, diniya, imama ruhiya. So it is political authority. So ulil amr has two kinds, the political authority and spiritual or academic authority. Spiritual authority and academic authority. That's why al-Khulafa al-Rashidun are ulil amr. And all heads of the Islamic states, they are ulil amr. If there are certain conditions, if they follow the footpath and they fulfill the conditions of obedience of Almighty Allah and Holy Prophet. Then Aimma Mujtahideen, Imam Azam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam bin Hanbal, they are also ulil amr. They are also men in authority. Aimma Mujtahideen, they are men in authority. Awliya, Aimma Vilayat, they are men in authority. Then even the small executives, the concept of obedience for them again fall within the same ambit of the men in authority. Ulil amri minkum. So these are three levels. So obedience for the heads, for imam, for khalifa, for amir of the army, their brigades, their units. You may come to a small unit. Even Holy Prophet ﷺ said, if there are 3 people going on a journey, it is incumbent on them to appoint one of them their amir. This is the concept of imara. And same is the aspect of the necessity or the compulsory provision of the establishment of Khilafah. That is needed. And to exaggerate the things, this is something not needed in Islam. That would be exaggeration. To say that there are only 2 nights and 3 days given for the Ummah to establish, this is just jahala. There is no order and commandment of Holy Prophet ﷺ. Not a single commandment of Holy Prophet ﷺ on this subject. Where you have only 2 nights and 3 days to establish Khilafah. No, nothing. If this was fard in this manner, fard ain, and fard in this manner, then Holy Prophet ﷺ, he himself would have appointed his Khalifa with his own holy words expressly. He would have appointed and declared, this man is my Khalifa. You have to follow him under the commandment of Ulil Amr. He did not declare. There is absolute misunderstanding. There is no commandment of Holy Prophet and commandment of Almighty Allah in Quran, neither in Quran nor in Sunnah of Holy Prophet. And the biggest Sunnah, I quoted the hadith last night in my lecture, when Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu ta'ala says, he left on the opinion of Ummah. So there is no prescription of this kind. Where did they get these 2 nights and 3 days? They just get that Holy Prophet after his demise, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar, his Khilafah was established within 2 nights, before his burial or funeral took place. Or Sayyidina Umar Farooq commanded, ordered his son that the Amr of Khilafah is to be decided by these 6 people. And if they don't decide till 3 days, then finish them. These were just the eventual commandments as the head of the state or Amir or any leader does. But 3 days is a sufficient time for them, for these 6 people to decide. And if they are unable to decide up to the 2 days or to 3 days, it means that they are not ready to create any consensus, and they are not ready to decide the matter. So what happened? This was just to put a, you can say, a commandment on them that you have to decide it unanimously or by majority of vote, with majority vote. Because the thing is that government is to be established. And the more you take, the more time you take, it creates more fitna and disturbances and problems. And that was the time of fitna. You know how many fitnas were being faced in the time of Sayyidina Abu Bakr? Those who were denying the zakat, munkirin of zakat, mani'een as zakat, those who were the wrong and liar claimants of the prophethood, mudda'yan and nabuwwah, and those who were turned rebels and apostates who became murtaddeen. So there were always fights and wars and problems going on. And Ummah was always in need of unity. And unity cannot be maintained without organization and without a head whose order would be obeyed. Who would be there to give an order? So this is a common sense says it is to be done. But there is no Shari'i specification of 2 nights or 3 days. This was just because of this necessity. That if any wrong decision had been taken in Saqifa Banu Sa'ida, the assembly of Ansar, before the burial of Holy Prophet, then the matter would have come to remove him if he was not fit for holding this great responsibility of Muslim Ummah to lead them. Where Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, Ali, these kind of people were there. And they were going to announce somebody else, just on the basis of Ansar. So this was something against the basic teachings of Islam. And it would have created a very big damage to Islamic cause. Unity of Islamic Ummah. Organization of Muslim Ummah. So out of this necessity, this was an ijtihad. They went, in fact, to curtail the situation. And eventually it developed like that it was decided unanimously and it had to be decided so that no fitna could take way. No fitna would go on. So it doesn't mean that only now 2 nights have been given to Ummah. This would be just a jahala. This was a decision of ijtihad which eventually came up because of the particular situation. And the same necessity was being felt by Sayyidina Umar. He appointed 6 persons to decide the next Amr of Khilafah, Amr of Imara and Khilafah. And he said if 3 days are more than enough for 6 people to decide. That was the reason that there was jahala. This was a decision of ijtihad which eventually came up because of the particular situation. And the same necessity was being felt by Sayyidina Umar. He appointed 6 persons to decide the next Amr of Khilafah, Amr of Imara and Khilafah. And he said if 3 days are more than enough for 6 people to decide. That was the reason that there are only 3 days left. And even if for 3 days they are not ready to decide, it means they have agreed on disagreement. And they are not ready to become unanimous, or they are not ready to create any consensus. So finish this matter. And finally what happened? The case was referred to 50 people. The 50 people's parliament. And then the parliament discussed it and found itself helpless, and finally was referred to the people in general, the masses. And again Abdurrahman bin Auf take another 3 days. So where did those 3 days mudda went? You understand the point? The whole process, it took more than 7 days, a week. 3 days given to those companions, then to the 50 people, the parliament of Medina, and then Abdurrahman bin Auf took 3 days. That was general election or As-Sawad-ul. He took 3 days. So it was just an order of executive, but it should be done within this way. He can fix 3 days. He would have fixed 1 day. If the situation, the seriousness and the gravity of the occurrences or problems had become so grievous and so advanced and so troublesome and so damaging, he might have said just there is 1 day is available for you to decide. Otherwise, no. He can say. But this was an executive order in the light of the prevalent situation. So to make this period as a Shari Hujjah or Dalil, nobody made this any Dalil after words. So this is just something uncalled for. The basic thing is iltizamul jama'a and as-sama wa ta'a. You can do in any time. That collectivity and organization of ummah should be maintained. And there should be an obedience and submission, a regular organized form. Orders should be given and it should be obeyed and the system should be maintained. This is the basic. So that there is no tafarruq in ummah. No tafarruq in ummah. Small sects and small pieces and small sections and small portions and small parts. And whole ummah is divided into parts and sects. No, this should be avoided. Now, next point. Another. This is a very important thing, and I think the people living in UK, or they don't realize, I think this one, that wherever the word jama'ah is used, now we should try to understand what does jama'ah mean. Jama'ah means majority. This is something very important, and this will rebut and refute whatever those people say. This is the respect of majority opinion, and to be attached with the majority sect, and this is Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Jama'ah, this collectivity, means majority group. This is very important thing. Now I will quote a hadith on that. So it means be with majority of the ummah and don't be detached from them. This would be firqa and furqa. All those people as they were in the beginning of the Islamic history, like Kharijis, and like the Rafidis, and the Murji'ah, and then Mu'tazila, and all these small sects. Were they the Jama'ah, the majority of Ummah, or were they small minorities? Small sects and groups and hizbs. Small sects, small groups and hizbs, ahzabs. They were always firqa against Jama'atul Ummah. So Holy Prophet declared these firqas, small groups, minorities and small groups emerging from the Ummah of Islam every time. These are the firaq ad-dalla, al-firaq ad-dalla. These have gone astray. And all these people are wrong. And majority of Ummah, the view upheld by the majority of Ummah is Jama'ah. So whatever they say and claim, that is furqa. That is against Islam. And whatever you say, because you belong to Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you are the majority people having the majority of Ummah. So whatever you say, this is the right chain of Islam. You understand the point? Now let us explain some ahadith coming here. Holy Prophet ﷺ stated, first of all, keep in mind that Jama'ah means a sinful aksar. A sinful aksar, majority group. This is Jama'ah. Otherwise, 100% the whole Ummah cannot unite and be agreed on one point. So come to it. Holy Prophet ﷺ stated, this is in Hadith Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal, volume 5, page 145. So this hadith, which is written, this one, narrated by Sayyidina Abu Huraira. Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti has also quoted this in Al-Jami' al-Saghir, an Abi Huraira, and some other companions also. So I will give you some ruwat also then. He said, Holy Prophet said, Isnani khayrum min wahidin. Two persons are better than one. In the opinions of two, if two unite on one opinion, two, so two are better than one. وَالثَّلَاثٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ اثْنَيْنِ. And three are better than two. Three are better than two. وَأَرْبَعَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِنْ ثَلَاثَةٍ. And four are better than three. After giving these three examples, is there any place of doubt in your minds? Then what does Holy Prophet say? First of all, he has clarified the situation that if there is a disagreement on particular issue, take even this disagreement. And this is Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal. And this hadith is reported by Abu Zar. And the same which I told, that's from Abu Huraira also, in Al-Jami al-Saghir by Imam Suyuti. But this is by Abu Zar. Isnani khayru min wahidin, wa thalasun khayru min isnain, wa arbatun khayru min thalasa. Is this not the basis of democracy? Majority vote, majority opinion is getting respect and preference to the minority opinion. They say, sometimes majority, they quote the things against majority in order to establish that they are in minority and they are on right path. That's wrong, against Holy Prophet's commandment. And all those verses which they quote in favor of minority and against majority, these are the verses which were revealed in the matter of kuffar. You may go through all those verses and you will find that since the Muslims, they were embracing Islam and they were few in number, قَلِيلٌ مُسْتَضْعَفُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ تَخَافُونَ أَنْ يَتَخَطَّفَكُمُ النَّاسِ. وَاذْكُرُوا إِذْ أَنْتُمْ قَلِيلٌ. You were few. The Muslims were few. And the majority of the Meccans they were in majority, they were on kufr. And same in Medina as Islam was growing slowly and slowly. So Muslims were few in number. And the non-Muslims were majority. The same now in this whole human world. If there are more than 5 billion people, so about 1 or 1.25 billion. The Muslims and the rest of the world is non-Muslims. So that was in context of the mu'mins, Muslims and non-Muslims. Since the majority of the people, they were non-Muslim, they were not embracing Islam, they were on kufr. So Islam condemned them, saying the majority, on the caption, heading of majority. Whenever you find the verses condemning the majority, أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ, most of them, they do not understand, means they are kuffar. They don't understand what is haqq and what is batil. So wherever aksar is condemned, al-aksariyya is condemned. You should go through the Holy Quran. You will find these verses were revealed in context of iman and kufr and mu'mineen and kuffar. So the matter is clear now. So this is wrong application, misuse of verses. We are talking within Muslims, ummah. We are talking bainal muslimin, within ummah. So within ummah, Holy Prophet says, 2 are better than 1, and 3 better than 2, and 4 better than 3. No doubt should remain in the mind of any Muslim. And then, after explaining the concept of akthariyya, a sinful aksar, after explaining this aspect, that 2 is majority, 1 is minority, 3 is majority, 2 minority, 4 is majority and 3 is minority. Then says, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْجَمَاعَةِ. So it is compulsory on you to be with jama'ah. So Holy Prophet has defined, has given a very specific and expressive definition of jama'ah. So what is the definition of jama'ah in the light of this hadith? Majority. He has said 2 on this side, 1 on this side, 2 are better. So 1 is not jama'ah, 2 are jama'ah. And where 3 and 4, 3 are not jama'ah, 4 people are jama'ah. And when 3 and 2, 2 are not jama'ah and 3 are jama'ah. So this was the reason behind giving these 3 examples. Then says, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْجَمَاعَةِ. You have to be with jama'ah. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ لَنْ يَجْمَعْ أُمَّتِي إِلَّا عَلَى هُدَى. Almighty Allah never unites my ummah. No, this is the unification of ummah in the form of jama'ah, and jama'ah exists in the form of majority. This is a chain. لَنْ يَجْمَعْ أُمَّتِي إِلَّا عَلَى هُدَى. وَفِي رِوَايَةٍ لَنْ يَجْمَعْ أُمَّتِي عَلَى ضَلَالَةٍ. Almighty Allah will never unite my ummah on dalala, on wrong. And he whenever unites my ummah, he unites on haqq, on hidayat, on right. So you say the ijtima'ul ummah and ijma'ul ummah. Ijma'ul ummah. The ummah being unite, the togetherness, the collectivity of ummah is always on right. So what is this collectivity of ummah? This is jama'ah. Alaykum bil jama'ah. And what is jama'ah? This is a sinful aksar. Arba'atun khayrun min thalatha. Wa thalathatun khayrun min isnain. Wa isnain khayrun min wahid. So this is a hadith. You have to keep in your mind. I have given you the reference number, and the number of hadith is 21,190 of Musnad Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. 21,190. First of all, I am explaining what is jama'ah. That is a sinful aksar. Now second, then we will come to these all ahadith. First of all, I am clarifying the definition. So because we talked the Khilafah or Imara or Imama, that is for Jama'ah. So that Jama'ah is maintained. Collectivity of Ummah is maintained. And Jama'ah means al-sinful aksar, aksariya. And one should be with al-aksar, not with al-aqal. So all hizbs in Islamic history are al-aqal, al-aqalliya, in Ummah. And the sinful aksar is As-Sawad-ul Azam, and that is Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So whatever the hizbs say, and every hizb has been quoting Quran and Sunnah, right from the day of Khawarij till today. Everyone is quoting Quran and Sunnah. Yudillu bihi kathiran wa yahdi bihi kasira. Everyone has wrongly derived his own views, tries to derive from Quran with misuses and misapplications, misinterpretations. But the basic, the Holy Prophet ﷺ has given a criterion of right and wrong. Criterion of Ummah, and Ummah bil Jama'ah, and Jama'ah bil Aksariya. And it is Sawad-ul Azam. So any hizb finds no place in right path. Any group, any hizb, any minority. Then another hadith, and that is in Tirmizi Sharif, al-Jami' at-Tirmizi, Kitabul Fitan, Babu ma ja'a fi luzumil jama'ah, an Ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And qala khatabana Umar bil Jabiyah. And this statement is of Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. He says, Inni kumtu fikum ka maqami Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I am standing here at the same place where Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was standing. And then he said, Fina faqala, and then he said, Holy Prophet said. Then he narrates Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when Holy Prophet said, Alaykum bil jama'ah. Second hadith of Tirmizi Sharif. First of all, Holy Prophet in the first hadith gave examples first and defined the jama'ah afterwards. In this hadith, he has mentioned the jama'ah, and then he has explained. Alaykum bil jama'ah. Wa iyyakum wal furqa. Be with jama'ah and leave the furqa. Furqa means minority. The group, the hizbs. Al-firqa. Then the Holy Prophet says, فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ مَعَ الْوَاحِدِ. Shaitan is with one. وَهُوَ مِنَ الْإِثْنَيْنِ أَبْعَدْ. And he is always away, quite far from the two. It means if the two are unite, then Shaitan is away from them. And he is closer to one. Now connect this with the same hadith. من الاثنين أبعد والشيطان مع الاثنين وهو من الثلاثة أبعد وهو من الأربعة أبعد. He is closer to one and away from two. Then he is closer to two and away from three, if you connect the first hadith. And he is closer to three and away from four. Wherever you find majority and minority, two sects, go with majority because that is safe and on the right path. Minority, that is with shaitan, or shaitan is with minority. And the minority group is known as, has been declared to be al-furqa, and majority has been declared by al-jama'ah. Two definitions have been given. Al-jama'ah is majority, and al-furqa means minority, minor. And then Holy Prophet, since this is the hadith of Tirmizi in front of me, let us finish the hadith, this Tirmizi Sharif. One hadith. Hadith number 2165. Then another hadith. When the concept of jama'ah is clear, that it is a sinful akthar. Let me quote another one hadith from the practice of companions. Kanzul Ummal. A sinful akthar. إفراجه بين اثنين واثنين ثلاثة وثلاثة فرجع لها sinful akthar. This is Kanzul Ummal, the book of hadith. An Abi Ja'far radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Volume number 5 and hadith number 14,250. 14,250. Kanzul Ummal. An Abi Ja'far qala Umar ibn al-Khattab. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala stated, the same principle of al-aksar wal-aqal, majority and minority, was adopted by the companions and al-Khilafah al-Rashidun, the orthodox caliphs. They used to adopt the same principle. So Sayyidina Umar said, Tushawiru fi amrikum. You should do mushawarat, consultation in any matter, whatever you want to decide. فَإِنْ كَانَ إِثْنَانِ وَإِثْنَانِ. If opinion is equally divided between two and two. This is what Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said. فَإِنْ كَانَ إِثْنَانِ وَإِثْنَانِ. If the opinion is equally divided between two and two. فَارْجِعُوا فِي الشُّورَى. Then take it to shura. وَإِنْ كَانَ أَرْبَعَةٌ وَإِثْنَانِ. And if the opinion again comes between 4 and 2, فَخُذُوا صِنْفَ الْأَكْثَرِ. So adopt the majority view. Kanzul Ummal, volume 5, page 733. I have given you hadith number. Now page 733. And again this hadith has been given in Tabaqat ibn Sa'd, Imam ibn Sa'd, At-Tabaqat al-Kubra, quoting the practices of Khilafah al-Rashidun. Volume 3, page 61, At-Tabaqat al-Kubra. This is the concept of a sinful aksar, the majority view. This is Tabaqat al-Kubra. The same, I have given you the reference. Zikru shura wa ma kana min amrihim. Again, An Abi Ja'far qala Umar ibn al-Khattab, the same reference. Shawiru fi amrikum, I have given you the reference. So now next reference which I want to give. You know, very famous hadith, and it have been reported by various companions with different texts, that there would be 73 sects in my ummah. All of them will go to hell except one. 72 will go to hell, and the 73rd one will go to the heavens and paradise. That will be maghfur, heavens. So this is very important hadith. So I want to establish the same fact through this hadith. Sorry. This is Sunan ibn Majah from Sihah Sittah. Babu iftiraqil umam. In hadith is reported by Auf bin Malik. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Iftaraqatil Yahudu ala ihda wa sab'ina firqa. Yahud. They were divided into 71 groups and sects. فَوَاحِدَةٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ وَسَبْعُونَ فِي النَّارِ. 70 went to hell and 1 went to heavens in paradise. وَافْتَرَكَتِ النَّصَارَى عَلَى سِنْتَيْنِ وَسَبْعِينَ فِرْقَةً. Then the Christians, they were divided into 72 sects. Again, فَإِحْدَى وَسَبْعُونَ فِي النَّارِ وَوَاحِدَةٌ فِي الْجَنَّةِ. 71 went to hell and 1 to Jannah. Then وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُحَمَّدٍ بِيَدِهِ sallallahu alayhi wa sallam لَتَفْتَرِقَنَّ أُمَّتِي عَلَى 73 فِرْقَةٍ. He says after vowing that definitely my ummah would be divided and there would be 73 sects, firqas in my ummah. Al-firq in my ummah. Wahidatan fil jannah wa sintani wa sab'una fin nar, and 72 will go to hell. Now, let us try to understand. Holy Prophet ﷺ said the whole total is my ummah. He says that وَالَّذِي نَفْسُ مُؤْمِنٍ لَتَفْتَرِقَنَّ أُمَّتِي عَلَى 73 فِرْقَةٍ. Because he is mentioning the Yahud and he is mentioning Nasara. So all sects were within Yahud and within Nasara. And all these sects were within Muslim Ummah. So these are Al-Firaqud Dalla, but these are of the Muslims, within Muslim Ummah. And will go to hell means they will have to be there, and then finally, if they are Muslim, the who reads Kalima, then finally will go to Jannah. So he says, my Ummah would be divided into 73 sects. I am trying to explain what is Jama'ah. Holy Prophet's Ummah is divided into 73 sects. And then he says, 72 out of them will go to hell. What does it mean? Does majority is going to hell? Is majority going to hell? No. These would be small hizbs, small firqas, small sects, small groups who emerged at various stages of Islamic history, who emerged out of Muslim Ummah. So these were various groups who have been emerging in Muslim Ummah, coming out of Muslim Ummah, deviating from the mainstream and right path of Islam. These were the deviating groups, small hizbs, small firaq. But they were from Muslim Ummah. And one will go to Jannah. And Holy Prophet says that the maximum number of in Jannah would be my Ummah. So this would be the majority, the biggest majority. That biggest group from Muslim Ummah, it means this is not the whole sum of Muslim Ummah. The whole sum of Muslim Ummah, whole sum. The totality is divided into 73 sects. And out of these 73, 72 are going to hell. These are small groups, small sects and sections and hizbs. One remaining, this is the biggest, the largest sect. And Holy Prophet has said sect. The largest sect out of 73, the biggest one, that will go to Jannah. Wahidatun fil Jannah. That will go to Jannah. Then qila ya Rasulullah manhum. Ya Rasulullah, who would this sect going to Jannah? Qala al-jama'ah. Qala, this would be jama'ah. This would be the jama'ah. Now, have you become clear? The relationship between ummah and jama'ah. I am telling, jama'ah is not the whole sum of ummah. Had it been the whole sum of ummah, or had jama'ah been the totality of ummah, then the 72 out of this jama'ah or ummah would not have been gone to the hell. 72 out of the ummah are going to hell, and remaining one firqa is jama'ah. The biggest firqa is jama'ah. and that is Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So now all those hizbs and people claiming and doing takreers and tahreers and declaring the whole ummah as kafir and mushrik, and the whole Muslims and Sunnis and all these kafirs and mushriks, all those people doing these kind of nonsense, according to the degree passed by Holy Prophet ﷺ, they will go to hell because of these acts. And the largest group of Muslim ummah, the Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they are Jama'ah and they will go to the heavens and Jannah. Again, next hadith. Anas bin Malik reports. He says, Inna Bani Israel iftaraqat ala ihda wa sab'ina firqa. Bani Israel were divided into 71 sects. Wa inna ummati sataftariqu ala sintayn wa sab'ina firqa. Kulluha fin nar. And my ummah, 72 firqas and sects would emerge out of that. And all of them will go to hell. All the 72. Illa wahidatan, except one. Except one. So this is what I want to explain, that illa wahida, the one is not the whole ummah. Because 72 out of the whole ummah has been excluded, has been taken out of the ummah for hell. 72 sects as a share of hell has been taken out of the ummah. And remaining ummah is jama'ah. And that is, I said, a sinful aksar. This is the majority of the ummah. Illa wahidatan wa qala wahiyal jama'ah, and this is jama'ah. So whenever you see the word jama'ah, it doesn't mean the whole sum of ummah, the whole sum of Muslim ummah. No. Ummah is ummah. This is the majority group of ummah going to the heavens and Jannah. So all these ahadith are from Tirmizi. Babu Iftiraq al-Umam and Kitabul Fitan. Kitabul Fitan. Kitab number is 36. The book is 36. And chapter number is 17 in that book, Kitabul Fitan. Chapter number 17. This was Sunan Ibn Majah. I have given you these ahadith. And we have already quoted Tirmizi. Now there are many other ahadith. This is in Majah, this is in Tirmizi, in Ahmad bin Hanbal, Musannaf Abdul Razak, Musnad Abu Ya'la, Tabarani Al-Mujam Al-Kabir, and all books of hadith, and Hakim. Then Holy Prophet says, Yadul, when you have become clear, what does Jama'ah means? Jama'ah means whole ummah, the whole of ummah? No. The majority group of ummah is Jama'ah. No, you can be very clear. Ask them, ask his people, are you the majority group of the whole ummah? You are just a few handful, just in a few departments in England, and just a few handful. Very, very minor hizb, very small hizb. And you want to be attached with all those firaq ad-dalla who are going to hell. The 72 sects. And in fact, this is not a new sect, I tell you. This is in fact the new edition of Khawarij. Khawarij were known as Khawarij. And the major sect of Khawarij, the first name, the first name given to Khawarij as a sect, as a regular form, was Al-Hururiyya. Harura was the name of a village, a place near the borders of Iraq. I quoted many hadiths from Bukhari and Muslim on Al-Haruriyya. Al-Haruriyya. Haruriyya, this was by the name of the village, a place. What happened in fact? This was Holy Prophet ﷺ, a news, you can say, good tidings, prophecies which he gave. One of the prophecies which he gave. At that time, nobody was living in Harura. When Holy Prophet ﷺ said, that's why the companions didn't know what is Harura. That's why some of the companions asked that I heard Holy Prophet saying Al-Haruriyya. But we don't know what is Al-Haruriyya. Who are they? They are the Khawarij. At that time, nobody knew this thing. This was a prophecy. What happened? How these Khawarij became Haruriya? They were in fact Al-Khawarij. And Imam Bukhari and Muslim, Tirmidhi and Muhaddiseen, they connect Al-Khawarij wal-Mulhideen wal-Murtaddeen together. They put Al-Khawarij wal-Mulhideen wal-Murtaddeen together. They put them together. And common order for them was Faqtulu, kill them. They are the biggest danger to Islam. So, how this Haruriya came out? When they, first of all, these Khawarij, they came out of the Islamic army and started giving fatwa and degree. They passed their degree against Sayyidina Ali and declared him to be kafir. I will give a specific lecture on Khawarij afterwards. Just keep in mind. And declared Sayyidina Ali to be kafir, maazallah. And the slogan which they raised was, Inil hukmu illa lillah. Hukuma and authority is just exclusively for Allah. This was their slogan. Inil hukmu illa lillah was their slogan. And second slogan, then they left Sayyidina Ali. When he accepted the arbitration between the armies of Sayyidina Ali and army of Hazrat Muawiyah, Abu Musa Ashari and Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As, there was an arbitration. Then they by, you can say, they did not keep their own words, and finally Sayyidina Ali Sher Khuda cancelled their arbitration because of their wrong act. So at that time, these people, Khawarij, they came out of the army and they became rebels. This was the first rebellion against the Islamic army of Sayyidina Ali al-Murtaza, al-Khalifatul Rashid. Al-Khawarij, they raised the slogan, Inil hukmu illa lillah, and they took swords against the Khalifa, Al-Khalifatul Rashid, Sayyidina Ali al-Murtaza. And he said that he has accepted the arbitration and degree by the man, whereas the degree is only right of Almighty Allah. So they became the, you can say, the upholders of the Allah's authority and declared Sayyidina Ali as mushrik. And number two, they got together and they left army of Islam and they united at a place. That village was Harura. And what did they say? They said, we should leave this place of bid'ah. So keep in mind, their slogans were, primary slogans were three fundamental slogans. Inil hukmu illa lillah, the authority only vests in Almighty Allah. Authority. Number two, this city is the city of the people of bid'ah. I'll give you the references. So they announced their fight against shirk and bid'ah. Hazrat Ali was declared mushrik, and the city, the people were declared the city of bid'ah. Said we should leave the city of bid'ah, and where shirk and bid'ah is being performed. So all of them, they become Tawheed, Ahlul Tawheed, and Ahlul Hukm, al-Islami. Then they gathered there in that place, and that place was Harura. So because of this, Harura became the first capital of Al-Khawarij movement, the first capital of Kharji movement. Tahriqul Khawarij, ya Hizbul Khawarij, Al-Harura. So they became Al-Haruriya. So I have a doubt in my mind. Maybe these innocent youngsters living in England, innocent, they don't know the details of history and they have no deep knowledge of the things. They are just innocent youth. They have been wrongly informed by Islamic teachings. They have been trapped with wrong things, wrong communication. Their innocence has been snatched from him by some culprits and some wrong people. and they are just going behind the slogans of Quran and Sunnah. So there is a doubt in my mind, and Almighty, I ask for forgiveness from Almighty Allah if it is wrong. The founder or one of the founders, it is not out of the context that he might be knowing the name of Al-Haruriyya, Al-Khawarij, the first capital of Haruriyya, and the link between Harura, Haruriyya and Tahrir. It creates a doubt, maybe intentionally, again reviving the philosophy of Khawarij. You may say, why? One can say, our younger generation, our youth people, my sons, maybe they can say, why, Dr. Saab, why he would put this wrong name to his organization? Holy Prophet said this. There are dozens of ahadith in Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Sciences ICIS and many books where Holy Prophet ﷺ said that these are the Khawarij, they will do this and that, and in every time and century of Islam till the Dajjal comes out of this ummah, emerges, the fitnatul Dajjal comes out. Till that day, they will be coming out and emerging in the history of Islam under the various attracting slogans and fascinating slogans. Sometimes slogan of Khilafah, we have to revive the Khilafah. Sometimes the slogan of Tawheed, we have to uplift the banner of Tawheed. Sometimes the rebuttal of Shirk, we have to kill the mushrikeen from Ummah and to purify the Ummah from Shirk. Sometimes the banner of eliminating the Bid'ah. But you see, all of these words and slogans were used by Khawarij. Sometimes they will choose this, sometimes they will choose this, sometimes Tawheed, sometimes Bid'ah, sometimes Al-Hukmu Lillah, sometimes Al-Khilafah, sometimes Al-Amr. All these things, sometimes fighting against Bid'ah and this and that. The slogans will be good. Sayyidina Ali said, Kalimatu Haqqin. Their slogan, world is very good. The slogan they are raising is good, correct. But Urida bihal batil. But their intention is batil. The slogan, the world is correct, intention and meaning is batil. Meanings are batil, intention is batil. This is a famous historical saying of Sayyidina Ali. So why this name was given? Holy Prophet said that they will be coming up and emerging throughout the history of Islam till the Dajjal comes out with his fitna. This is Hadith, Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Zakat, Babu Tahrid ala Qatl al-Khawarij. Bab ala Qatl al-Khawarij. They should be killed. They were the slogan raisers of Islam and Kalima and La ilaha illallah and Tawheed, and they were raising slogan against Bid'ah. And their allegation against Ali was that he has committed shirk. So we are fighting for Tawheed and all these things. So their words, the slogans, the manifesto which they were using and saying, that was apparently very attracting and fascinating. But Holy Prophet said, their killing is needed. So this is Hadith, Anna al-Haruriyya. An Ubaydillah ibn Abi Rafi, Mawla Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قال أن الحرورية لما خرجت. Ubaydullah bin Abi Rafi says, when Hururiyya came out, they emerged, خرجت, وهو مع علي ibn Abi Talib. They were originally in the army of Sayyidina Ali. When they left his army and خرجت, قالوا لا حكم إلا لله. They said, Hukuma is the right of Allah. Ali has committed shirk. La hukma illa lillah. This was their slogan. Qala Aliyun kalimatu haqqin urida biha batil. Sayyidina Ali said, this manifesto, the words of this manifesto and slogan are goods. The words are good, but intention is batil. Words are haqq, intention is batil. This is what these his people do. The words are good. Mallam yahkum bima anzalallah fa ulaikum lakafirun. Quranic verses, establishment of Khilafah and Islam and this and that. All these words are good. Kalimatu haqqin urida biha batil, but their intention behind is batil. Then inshallah when I come to this subject I will explain something else. And the Holy Prophet, he said, Inna ba'di min ummati, or sayakunu ba'di min ummati, qawmun yaqra'un al-Quran. They will recite the Holy Quran. Wala yujawizu halaqiyahum, yakhrujuna min ad-din, kama yakhruju sahmu min al-ramiyya, yamrukuna min ad-din, kama yamruku sahmu min al-ramiyya, thumma la ya'udun. Hum sharrul khalqi wal khaliqa. Sharrul khalqi wal khaliqa. The worst of this creation. In history of Islam, that would be the worst of the creation. Sahih Bukhari. Istinabatul murtaddin wal mu'anidin wa qitalihim. Qatl al khawarij bab wal mulhidin ba'da iqamati al hujjati alayhim. An Abi Salma wa Ata bin Yasar and Abba Sayyid Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala. Fasa'alahu, both of them asked Abu Sayyid Khudri, Anil Haruriyya, who are Haruriyya? Asamiyatan Nabiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qala la adri mal Haruriyya. I heard from Holy Prophet, but I don't know who are the Haruriyya. Samitun Nabiyya sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yaqulu yakhruju fi hazihi al-ummah. Haruriyya will be the sect and they will come out from my ummah. Walam yaqul mina qawmun tahkiruna salatakum ma'a salatihim yaqra'una al-Qur'ana la yujawizu huluqahum aw hanajirahum yamrukuna min ad-din muruq as-sahmi min ar-ramiyya. They will come out and they will pray, and your prayers would be lesser than their prayers. Your recitation of Quran would be lesser than them. But they will have no link and concern with Islam. They will go out of Islam completely. So I was telling that these are the small firaq, small sects. And there are, I tell you, I'll inshallah quote a hadith in my next lecture on Khawarij, where Holy Prophet ﷺ stated that they will be emerging from throughout the history of Islamic Muslim Ummah till the day fitna of Dajjal will come up. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said in Hakim al-Mustadrak, Yadullahi alal jama'ah fattabi'us As-Sawad-ul Azam. Now, exact the words of hadith. Almighty Allah's hands of protection are on jama'ah. When you have become clear on the concept of jama'ah, that it is a sinful aksar. Now, Holy Prophet has also given another term to this. He has also given another word. Explained the same concept of a sinful aksar, which was given by Sayyidina Umar. Holy Prophet has described the same thing in the word As-Sawad-ul Azam. The largest group, the biggest sect, As-Sawad-ul Azam. In hadith, in Hakim Mustadrak, Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Yadullahi alal jama'ah fattabi'us As-Sawad-ul Azam. Allah's hands are on jama'ah, on the majority of my ummah, majority group, and you should follow As-Sawad-ul Azam, the largest group of my ummah. So now everybody can easily understand, are these small sects and hizb, are these to be known or to be considered as largest or large groups? This is in Hakim Mustadrak, Kitabul Ilm, and Nasai, Sunan Nasai Siha Sitta, Babu Qatlu Man Farak al Jama'ah, and Nasai Sunan Kubra, and Majma'uz Zawaid, and Al-Mujam Al-Awsat Tabarani, and Imam Bukhari in At-Tarikh al-Kabir, and Imam Tirmizi in Jami' as-Sahih Kitab al-Fitan, Tirmizi. So all these ahadiths are for Jama'at. Now here is a book in my hand telling you the classical imams and classical authority on Islamic Sharia, on Sharia. This is Imam Ajuri, Al-Imam Al-Muhaddis Abi Bakr Muhammad bin Al-Hussein. He died in 360. 360. So he is an Imam of 4th century, meaning thereby, if he died in 360, so he belonged to the 3rd century, by the end of the 2nd century. This is the time and age of the great Imams of Hadith and Imams of Islam. This is Imam. His book is Ash-Sharia, very famous book, one of the original sources and authorities. Normally Imams and Muhaddiseen have been quoting this Imam and his book Ash-Sharia, but it was not published. Now it is published now. So this Imam, Muhaddis Abi Bakr Muhammad bin Hussain al-Ajurri, he in Kitab al-Sharia, Imam Ibn Kasir and lot many, Imam Ibn Khilqan and other Muhaddiseen, Aimma, they have given the details of this Imam in all these books. So I want to just know the birth date of Imam Ajurri. Yes, this was the thing. He was born in 280. 280. This is Sahib Mu'jam al-Mu'allifeen has quoted. And he died in Makkah. Imam Zahabi says in Siyar Alam Nubala. So he was Imam Ajurri al-Makki, died in Makkah. And his Mawlid was in 280. And Imam Bazzaz and Imam Khatib, and they say that he was died in Makkah and all this. So this Imam Ajurri, he has written this book Ash-Sharia. Now, this has been published with the tahqiq and the interpretation and commentary in 6 volumes. I bought this from Kuwait this time. First time which we got this book now. This is the 2nd edition. So I bought from Kuwait now this time, 6 volumes. So he starts his book on Sharia. He starts his book on Sharia. And he begins with Zikrul Amr Biluzum al-Jama'ah Wan Nahi Anil Furqa. And after completing this subject, he goes to the subject of Khawarij. That who were Furqa? Jama'ah, and then who were the founder of Furqa and Firqa. Hum Sharrul Khalqi wal Khaliqa. Then he gives the details. So the first chapter, he has collected dozens of ahadith on this subject, that this majority Jama'ah and As-Sawad-ul Azam. I have given you hadith, he has given the first hadith. فَلْ يَلْزِمَ الْجَمَاعِ فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ مَعَ الْوَاحِدِ وَهُوَ مِنَ الْإِثْنَيْنِ أَبْعَدُ. He is closer to one end. The same hadith again. Then he says, Man kharaj. Now coming to that, I will read this hadith for you and you will get another clarification on the subject of Mitatul Jahiliyyah. Al-Mita al-Jahiliyyah. Those who die without Imam and Bay'ah and without Khilafah. So again, that is wrong interpretation. They say that if anybody dies and there is no Khalifa of the Muslim Ummah and Imam, so everybody is dying the Al-Maut al-Jahiliyyah, Al-Mitatul Jahiliyyah. So this is against the Maut of Islam. This is again a wrong interpretation. A wrong interpretation. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ was asked, he said, you should obey to your Amir. And Holy Prophet was asked, if there is no Amir of the Ummah at some time, he said, then leave all the wrong firaq and keep silent. So he didn't say at that point, then you are dying the Mitatul Jahiliyyah. Without Amir and Imam and Khalifa. He didn't say. He didn't say. The one thing, Mitatul Jahiliyyah is related. An Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. Qala qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Man kharaja minat ta'ati. There was an Imam. There was an Amir. It means there was an Islamic State. An Islamic society, Islamic State was in existence, Islamic government was established, and the Muslims of their society was under obligation to obey the Imam, to obey the government, to obey the Amir. Holy Prophet says, Man kharaja min at-ta'ati, the one who came out of obedience, he became rebel. So this is in connection of rebellion. He came out of the ita'ah. Wa farakal jama'ah. And he got detached, he got himself detached from the jama'ah, from As-Sawad-ul Azam and from a sinful aksar of ummah. So two things. One, he left the ita'ah and he became rebel. So this is for the baghi, al-bughat, the baghi, al-murtad, apostate, or al-baghi, the rebel, who created rebellion against the Islamic State and Islamic authority and left the ita'ah and bay'ah. This means leaving the ita'ah, coming out of ita'ah means he declared his detachment from bay'ah. Bay'ah means obedience of the Amir, obedience of the Islamic government. And farakal jama'ah, and got detached from the jama'ah, from the majority of ummah. Mata, and he died. Famitatuhu jahiliyyah. His mouth is jahiliyyah. This is the real context of hadith and the meanings. Isnaduhu sahih. Isnad of this hadith are sahih. And this is, and takhrij is in Sahih Tirmizi, Hasan Sahih, and Sahih ibn Hibban, and Musnad Tayalisi, Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal, Musannaf Abdul Razak, Mustadrak Hakim, and Tabarani Al-Mujam Al-Kabir. And Albani has also declared the hadith to be sahih. Al-Jami. So this was the basic hadith. And again, Holy Prophet ﷺ said the same thing. Man farak al-jama, again, an Abi Hurayrata. Another hadith. An Abi Hurayrata. Qala Rasulullah, man farak al-jama'a wa khalafat ta'ah. In first hadith were the word man kharaja minat ta'ati wa farak al-jama'a. I am explaining the concept al-mitatul jahiliyyah. Have you heard this thing? But this is, he died and without bay'ah and without imam was not. So it means that he left the jama'ah and he became a rebel and he became a baghi and he disobeyed the Islamic government. Ulil amri minkum, he disobeyed the Quranic commandment and he became a rebel of the Islamic against Islamic government and Islamic authority. He challenged Islamic authority and ulil amr and left the jama'ah and a majority decision. And he adopted al-furqa. This was that he left this bay'ah. And he died and his death is al-mitatul jahiliyyah. Same thing in hadith. So I am giving you interpretation of hadith through hadith. One thing is in hadith, in a summarized form, brief. Another hadith explained the same thing. There's another hadith, there are dozens and dozens of hadiths which explain the meanings of that hadith. So we have to take everything in total. So here Sayyidina Abu Hurairah narrates, Man farakal jama'a wa khalafat ta'ah. He adopted furqa, left the jama'ah, and he became against at-ta'ah, against the obedience of the government, obedience of the authority. Mata mitatan jahiliyyah. His death is death of jahiliyyah. And again, this isnad is also sahih. And this hadith is narrated in Sahih Muslim, Fil Imara, and Musannaf Abdul Razak, and Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal, and Nasai, and all those, and Imam Ibn Jarir and all those. Another one more hadith, again reported by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And this Imam Abi Bakr al-Ajurri he has just, I am just giving, he has collected all these ahadith from the, which he got, because he is Imam like Imam Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi himself. So he has his own chain of hadith. You understand the point? Because he belongs to the same age and same period. This, the Muhakkikeen has given the takhrij, that this hadith has been taken by Imam Bukhari also, by Imam Muslim and Imam Tirmidhi and all. These hadiths are also available in these Sciences ICIS. So Imam Abu Hurairah narrates, Man kharaja min at-ta'a wa faraq al-jama'a mata mitatan jahiliya. Again, isnad is sahih. Then Abdullah ibn Masud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he says, he used to say in his khutbah, Ayyuhan nas alaykum bit-ta'ati wal jama'ah. When he says alaykum bit-ta'ah, here lies the concept of imara and khilafah and hukuma and sultan and imama. But this is just a common concept. They have made it a huge point. Alaykum bit-ta'ah wal jama'ah. Jama'ah is the As-Sawad-ul Azam, the majority of ummah. And ta'a is the Islamic authority. To obey the authority is ta'a. Farma فَإِنَّهَا حَبْلُ اللَّهِ الَّذِي أَمَرَ بِهِ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ فِي الْفُرْقَةِ. It's better than furqa. Then again he says that Holy Prophet said, all those hadiths, wahidun fil jannah wa hiya al jama'ah, sintani wa sab'una minha fil nar wa wahidatun fil jannah. فقال في حديث ما أنا علي وأصحابي وهي السواد الأعظم وهي الجماعة. The way on which me and my companions are, and this is As-Sawad-ul Azam, the biggest group of my ummah, and this is this is Jama'ah. Now this Imam Ajurri, the classical authority on Sharia, he explains this furqa and explains the meanings of Jama'ah. He says in page 303, and Abu Bakr bin Dawood narrated, حدثنا مسيب بن واضح قال سمعت يوسف بن أسباط يقول أصول البدع. Bid'ah, foundations of bid'ah are four. They say Al-Rawafid, Al-Khawarij, Al-Qadriya, Al-Murji'ah. These are the basis of bid'ah, yani innovations, and firaq ad-dala. They say these, he counted 12 and then say فَتِلْكَ إِسْنَتَانِ وَسَبُونَ. These would be 72 in Holy Prophet's ummah. Imam Ajurri says that Imam Yusuf bin Asbat, he narrates that he counted 12, counting this, and then said Samaniyat Ashara kullu firqatin, said Ta'ifatun fatilka, then every, to the Shab kullu firqatin Samaniyat Ashara Ta'ifa. He counted these and then said from every firqa group, 18 groups will emerge as his offshoots and branch of that firqa. All these basic and fundamental groups will give rise to another 18 offshoots and branches from its origin. And totally they will become 72. فَتِلْكَ إِثْنَتَانِ وَسَبْعُونَ فِرْقَةً 72. وَالثَّالِثَةُ وَالسَّبْعُونَ, and 73rd Al-Jama'ah, the largest group. الَّتِي قَالَ النَّبِيَّ إِنَّهَا نَاجِيَةٌ. This would go to heavens and Jannah. This is the explanation of Imam Ajurri. And then all of ahadith which we have already mentioned, he has given all those ahadith. I will just read any hadith which has some new words. Another he says here, an Abdullah bin Amr, anna Nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam qala la ya'tiyanna ala ummati ma ata ala bani Israil. تفرق بنو إسرائيل على 72 ملة وستفترق أمتي على 73 تزيد عليهم كلها في النار إلا ملة واحدة ما أنا عليها وأصحابي. Again, عن أنس بن مالك, same, 72 منها في النار وواحدة في الجنة قالوا من هم يا رسول الله قال الجماعة. That will be the jama'ah. Again, it is an Anas ibn Malik. فرمایا إن أمتي ستفترق على 73 فرقة كلها في النار إلا السواد الأعظم. Here are the different words. Al-Jama'ah has been replaced and substituted by As-Sawad-ul Azam. The 72 will go to hell except one, and that one would be As-Sawad-ul Azam, the biggest group, sect of my ummah. So these are the alternative words, As-Sawad-ul Azam and Al-Jama'ah. And here it says, Kullu firqatin minha finnar illa wahida wa hiya al-Jama'ah. This is an Abi Sa'ad radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Ibn Sa'ad. Sa'ad radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates here, Kullu firqatin minha finnar. Every firqa, sect of my ummah, will go to Jahannam, will go to hell, illa wahida, except one firqa, one sect, and hiya al-Jama'ah, and this is the biggest one. This is the majority one. More expressive and elaborative. Every sect will go to Jahannam, will to hell, except one sect, firqa, and that is hiya al-Jama'ah, the biggest one. He is saying the firqa and saying Jama'ah. Yani the biggest, the majority one. This is very important hadith. And again, an Muawiyah Sufyan, also the reporter of this hadith. إن هذه الأمة ستفترق على 73 72 في النار وواحدة في الجنة وهي الجماعة. Many companions have narrated this thing. And this 29. Isnaduhu Hasan. And Takhrij, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad, Abu Dawood fi Sunan, Darmi in Sunan, Hakim in Mustadrak. And again, this has been reported by Abu Hurairah. Then there are hadiths of Khawarij. So now coming to Bukhari, because they always quote the Sahih Bukhari. This is the Muslim Sharif. Man kharaja min at-ta'ati wa faraq al-jama'ata famata mata mitatan jahiliya. This is the basic thing. And now all other hadiths should be taken in the light of this hadith. Man khala'a yadam min ta'atin. Man khala'a yadam min ta'atin. If everybody came out from the ta'at, from the obedience of Islamic authority, laqiya Allah yawm al-qiyamata la hujjata lahu. This hadith has been quoted by in their literature here. He will go to the day of the judgment in front of Almighty Allah without any dalil. He will be having no dalil of Sharia which could save him. وَمَنْ مَاتَ وَلَيْسَ بِأُنُقِهِ بَيْعَةٌ. And he died, anybody died, and without bay'ah. Now you understand the bay'ah, that he has left, he has came out of the bay'ah. He has rejected the bay'ah and he has become the rebel of Islamic authority. فِي أُنُقِهِ بَيْعَةٌ. And he has no bay'ah in his unuq, in his neck. Mata mitatan jahiliya. So his death would be death of jahiliya. And this thing which sometimes creates problems in the minds of the youth, and another thing, that if there should be only one Khalifa in the whole. This is Sahih Muslim in front of me. And if there should be only one Khalifa and one Islamic head for the whole Ummah in the world, and if there is any other, he should be killed. This is not the matter. This is again a wrong interpretation of Holy Prophet's hadith. The matter is that if anywhere the people, Muslim Ummah, the Jama'at, you understand, anywhere Jama'at and the people, the Muslims, they get together, they unite, and they create a society, and they install a head within them. As Holy Prophet said, if there are 3 Muslims together going, they should appoint one of them as their Amir. So it has become an Imara consisting of 3 people. You understand the point? So if the three people are required to appoint an Amir for them, so that there should be a system of ulil amr, ita'ah, and system of ita'ah, and system of organized, disciplined life of Islam. So even then they are in imara and ta'ah. So here Holy Prophet said that this is, if Muslim society and Muslim ummah, they got united and they were able to appoint anyone as their Amir or Khalifa or head of the state or Sultan, and they were unanimous or they had a consensus on him. So Islamic authority was established and people were accepting his commands. People were rendering their obedience to him. So it had become an Islamic state, whether small or big. So if anybody after establishment of Islamic State, Islamic authority, Islamic Khilafah, Islamic Imara, comes up and he claims to be another Amir, this is rebellion. It is known as Al-Baghawa. It doesn't mean that in the whole world two Islamic heads cannot, there is not permissible. This is not the matter of the whole world. Anywhere. Maybe in the beginning when there was Orthodox Caliphate, Khilafah or Rashidun, there was only one caliphate all over the world. And maybe now when there are 50s and dozens and hundreds of the states, wherever any specific territory, any specific geographical area, territory, where Muslims were living, they became united, they became organized, they established an authority, they appointed their Amir, and they did bay'ah on his hand, they gave vote to him, they rendered their obedience to him, and the authority took over the charge of the society. The society became a state, a regular Islamic imara. So now is a nizam of bay'ah and ta'. So if anybody, any second man comes up and says, no, I am the Khalifa and Amir, so this claimant should be killed, because this is rebellion, baghawat, ridda. And this is already in the Pakistan constitution, punishment is high treason. So this is challenging the Islamic authority. So Holy Prophet said in this context, and it is taken wrongly in other context. He never said, Holy Prophet, you can't find a single hadith of Holy Prophet, a single directive of Holy Prophet whereby he has stated that there should be only one Amir in the whole world, from Masharik to Magharib, from the east to west, for the whole mankind, for the whole world. There should be only one Amir and one Imam, one Sultan or one Khalifa. And there can be not two states. Never, Holy Prophet never stated this thing. His philosophy was establishment of Imara, wherever you are. If he says that if there are three Muslims going together at any place, they should establish an Imara. They should appoint one out of them as their Amir, and they should work under an Amir. So if he allows the Ummah to establish an Imara within three persons, how can Islam say that 1.25 billion people, there should be only one Amir? How can Islam say this? When there are no territorial links, and the reason and the basic objective of Islamic government is administration of justice, to establish the control, to provide the basic necessities to the citizens, to defend the state, to establish a better defense for the territorial limits, to fulfill all the positions of law and order. So if the Muslims are living here in this world, thousands and thousands miles away from one another, one from this part of the ocean and some other people on that part of the ocean, and there are many seas and oceans between them. So now under this established world, this is not that preliminary and simple stage of the history, where there were village states and tribal states. In this present world, how can one state establish its control? So one has to come right from America to Iraq, right from Washington to Kabul, as America is doing. How Muslims are living here and Muslims are living in the last border of this world. Muslims are living in the Fiji and everywhere in the world. And there are Many countries and quite long distances between them. So an effective control cannot be established. Law and order cannot be maintained. The basic needs and necessities cannot be fulfilled. Basic rights and duties, why the state is established, that cannot be fulfilled. A single man, a single government cannot do all these things in the hundreds of these territorial limits, territories. Absolutely, the objectives are finished. So how can Islam and Prophet say that there should be only one Amir for the whole world? Is that the Prophet of Islam who allows every 3 persons going here, there, they may be at 100 places, 3 persons going here, 10 persons going there, 20 persons going there, 100 people going there. Every group is commanded by Holy Prophet and required to establish their Amir. So there is a small Imara of 3 people, Imara of 10 people, Imara of 20 people, Imara of 100 people, Imara of 1 million people, Imara of 10 million people. There can be hundreds of Imaras. The basic thing is to live in the form of Imara, in the form of Ta'ah, to live a disciplined life, organized life. Don't live indisciplined life and disorganized way. This is the basic philosophy. This is Hadith Al-Mu'jam Al-Kabir, Imam Tabarani. Al-Mu'jam Al-Kabir, Imam Tabarani, volume 9. And Holy Prophet says, إِذَا كُنْتُمْ ثَلَاثَةٌ فِي سَفَرٍ فَأَمِّرُوا عَلَيْكُمْ أَحَدَكُمْ. If there are 3 persons going in your any journey, you should appoint one of you as your Amir. So this is the concept of one. There will be one Khalifa, means there should be one Amir at one place. One Amir for one society. One Amir for one, in order to establish the unity. And now the states have become territorial. These are the eventual historical developments. Islam doesn't disallow that. You should live under an Amir. That's it. The Islamic governments are the Imara. And if you become rebellion, so this is Holy Prophet said, which I said that the Buji al Khalifatain, two Khalifa, one should be killed. Explanation of this hadith. Al-Mustadrak by Imam Hakim, volume 1, Kitabul Manasik. عن زيد بن وهب قال عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه إذا كان نفر ثلاثة فليؤمروا أحدكم. If there are a group of 3 people, one person should be appointed as Amir. ذاك أمير, he is the Amir. أمره رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, with the Amr of Holy Prophet. This is Holy Prophet's Amr. This is the statement of Sayyidina Umar in Al-Mustadrak. ذاك أمير, he is the Amir. أمره رسول الله, and this was what Holy Prophet commanded to do. So you have to take all the hadiths in the light of this Holy Prophet's command. So Holy Prophet said, I will read the both of hadiths in order to finish. Holy Prophet said this on Abi Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala. إِذَا بُوجِئَ لِخَلِيفَتَيْن. If the people start doing bay'at with 2 Khalifas, فَقْتُلُوا الْآخَرَ مِنْهُمَا. Kill the second one to retain the unity, to maintain the unity. This is the basic hadith which is normally quoted. And they wrongly infer from this that there should be only one Khalifa for the whole world. First of all, where Holy Prophet has said in this hadith, for the whole world, the word for the whole world is not here. The world for the whole ummah or lil alam, for the whole world, is not even in this hadith. Just إِذَا بُوجِئَ لِخَلِيفَتَيْن. If the people start doing bay'at with 2 Khalifas, it means that it is a place where some people have done their bay'at with one Khalifa and others start with other. It indicates, this hadith gives a hint that it is dealing with one state. Dealing with one state. But this is the hadith words. Now let us explain this hadith through hadith of Holy Prophet. Iza buji ali khalifatain. This is chapter 15 of Sahih Muslim, Kitabul Imara. Kitabul Imara. Now I am quoting you a hadith that is one hadith prior to it. Just chapter number 14. Chapter number, if you connect both chapters as Imam Muslim has connected, then you will be very clear. In chapter 14, Imam Muslim has given Babu Hukmu man farraka amra al-muslimina wa huwa mujtami'un. He has brought this chapter. Babu man farraka amra al-muslimin. Chapter about that man or that person who wants to divide the unity of Muslims. Wahuwa mujtami'un, and they are already united. They are wahuwa mujtam, and they are already united. And the one who comes and tries to create disunity. Unity was already there and he wants to create disunity. So he has created this chapter. And then next chapter is Abuji Ayeli Khalifatain, the same thing advanced. Here was one comes to create disunity, and he claims that I am Khalifa. He is creating disunity. First chapter deals with this matter. And second chapter deals with those persons who accept his claim and they start doing bay'ah on his end too. And practically now this has become disunity of them, of Muslims. So these are two connected things. Nothing out from those chapters is dealing with the matter of the Khalifa for the whole world. This is just with the matter of unity of Ummah. So in Pakistan we need unity of Ummah. In every country unity of Ummah has become a territorial matter, and then interlinked with the whole Ummah it becomes the Ummah unity. So in this chapter the last hadith is an Arfajah. Holy Prophet ﷺ states, Yakulu man atakum, if anybody comes to you, wa amrukum jami'un ala rajulin wahidin, and you had already agreed and consented to the imara of one person. This is that. These are two just continuous two hadiths. Wa amrukum jamiyun, and you had already achieved the unity. How? Ala rajulin wahidin, on one man. So you had already appointed your Amir, and you had accepted his bay'ah, and you had rendered your ta'at to him, and you had created your unity, and somebody comes afterwards, yuridu an yashukka asakum or yufarrika jama'atakum. Somebody comes afterwards and he wants to yufarrika jama'atakum, to create disunity in your jama'at, disunity in your group, in your jama'at, in your people. He wants to damage your unity. Faqtuluhu, you should kill him. This is the meaning of killing. I think now the concept is very clear. What does it mean? Holy Prophet is not speaking and telling anything related that there should be only one Khalifa in the whole world, and if there is any other Khilafah, kill him. No, this is not the matter in question. Matter in question is the unity of the Muslims at one place. And if you are already unified and somebody comes afterwards, challenges this unity and wants to disunify you, creates disunity, you can faqtulu. And we find many ahadith on this subject. Because he says, tamassuk bis As-Sawad-ul Azam. There should be a tamassuk with As-Sawad-ul Azam. You should remain united. And now finishing the subject, there can be many other things, but I think the basic necessary things are clear in your mind. Left? Just I will give you some references of hadith. Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam established a state of Medina. It was a territorial state. The first state established by Holy Prophet was a territorial state. And he never declared, he himself, that I am the head of the state for the whole world. He said, Inni Rasulullah ilaykum jamia. I am Rasul for the whole world, for the whole mankind. He said, I am the prophet and messenger for the whole mankind. But when the time of his prophet, his headship came, he never said that I am establishing a state for the whole world. No, he established state for Medina. So he approved the concept of territorial city-state. He said, Haza kitabum min Muhammadin Nabi, Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, bain al-mu'minina wal-muslimin min Quraysh wa ahli Yasrib, wa man tabi'ahum falaika bihim wa jahada ma'am. And then he says, Innahum ummatun wahidatun min dunin nas. I declare this people of Medina, Ahli Yasrib, the people living in Yasrib, Medina, Mu'mineen and Muslimin min Quraysh, and those who have become the member of this Sahifa, this constitution. They have accepted the authority of this Misa constitution. All of these people, Muslims and non-Muslim minorities, they have become ummatun wahida. They have become ummah. This was another political term, that the word ummah was being used as a political community in the sense of the political community, a city-state, nation-state, a territorial state. Ahli Yathriba. So Holy Prophet declared this state accepted. So this was the Sunnah, first state ever created by Holy Prophet and headed by Holy Prophet was a territorial state. And I have explained the matter that it is very clear when comes the matter of his Rahmah, he says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. But he doesn't stay here that this is the Sahifa and Kitab for Alameen, for Ahlil Alam, Ya Ahlil Alameen. No, this was an agreement because state and authority comes into existence by a contractual obligation. It is a bilateral contract where the people appoint someone as Amir and accept his authority. So this is a bilateral contract. Inna Allah ya'murukum an tu'addul amanati ila ahliha. To the deserving people you give the authority to them and accept his obedience. Wa iza hakamtum bayna nas an tahkumu bil adl. And when you accept the authority and become the hakim or hakam, then you have to rule them with justice, administer the justice between them. So this is a bilateral contract, and this is a contractual obligation. This is an authority which comes out of a contract. Whereas the prophethood and messengership is not the outcome of a contract. It is an appointment and it is raising from Almighty Allah for the whole world. When comes the matter of prophethood, messenger, he is for the whole world. When comes the matter of imamah, sultan, dawla, authority, state, then he says, Bain al-mu'mineen wal-muslimeen min Quraysh wa ahli Yasrib. These are the limits. They are ummatun wahida. So this is the first authority of Holy Prophet Sunnah, to be a state of up to that territorial limits where you can exercise your authority, where you can execute the law, enforce the law. And then the last words, وَإِنَّ يَثْرِبَ حَرَامٌ جَوْفُهَا لِأَهْلِ هَذِهِ السَّهِيفَةِ. This, the Yasrib, the city of Medina, I declare it a haram. For those people, is a sanctuary of peace, for those who have become the member of this constitution. So Holy Prophet ﷺ gave the constitutional concept, a constitutional state and constitutional society, and a constitutional authority within territorial limits. And then he said, وَإِنَّهُ مَا كَانَ بَيْنَ أَهْلِ هَذِهِ السَّهِيفَةِ فَإِنَّ مَرَدَّهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَإِلَى مُحَمَّدٍ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَىٰ أَتْقَى مَا فِي هَذِهِ السَّهِيفَةِ أَبَرِّ. Yani always he says, أَهْلُ هَذِهِ السَّهِيفَةِ. Those people who have accepted the authority of this constitution, this Sahifa. And then he says, وَأَنَّهُ لَا يَهُولُ هَذَا الْكِتَابُ دُونَ ظَالِمٍ أَوْ عَاصٍ وَأَنَّهُ مَنْ خَرَجَ آمِنٌ وَمَنْ قَادَ آمِنٌ بِالْمَدِينَةِ. So he again and again in his own words explained this authority is limited up to the state of Medina. He would have stated, just as far as the world, he was entitled to say, being the prophet of the all worlds and Rahmah of the universes and messenger of the all mankind, to the all men, he was entitled to say that my authority is for the whole mankind, not for only the people of Yasrib. But as far as the state went on expanding, the authority went on expanding. And then in the Holy Prophet's time, you know, some people had established another small political authority. In Holy Prophet's time, they established another political authority between Makkah and Medina. That was an independent political entity. You can't say a regular state, but it was an independent territorial political entity, political authority. And Holy Prophet accepted it. He approved it. And that was Abu Basir and Abu Jandal and some other people who became Muslims. They started living at the place Zul Halifa. And they started to kill the non-believers who were violating the laws and things, and who were doing breach of peace, and who were creating any problem for the Muslims. So the kuffar reached to Holy Prophet. They said that according to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, you should stop those people to doing that, because this is against the treaty, the articles of our Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Holy Prophet said, they do not fall in our authority. They are independent entity. This is an historical fact. They are an independent political entity. At that time, the Islamic State had already was established. And Holy Prophet was their head as the Prophet of the Muslim Ummah. And he was the head of the Islamic State. But the Muslim people living at Zul Halifa, Abu Basir, Abu Jandal and their other community, Holy Prophet said that they are not bound to our commitments of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. They are independent. Because they are neither the citizens of our city of Medina, nor they are the residents of Medina. So the Treaty of Hudaybiyah is not binding on them. They are independent from our authority. So he accepted their independence and their independent political entity. It's a very important thing. This is the first reference I have given from the Misaq of Medina, that it was a territorial state, Holy Prophet declared. Second, acceptance, the independence of that political entity of Zul Halifa, and saying that the Treaty of Hudaybiyah does not apply on them. And again, after the Khilafat, the Orthodox Caliphate was only for 30 years, which was unanimously accepted by Ummah. And after that, there was no unanimous Khilafah for the whole Muslim world. Holy Prophet said, Al-Khilafatu ba'di fi ummati salasuna sana, summa mulkun. The Khilafah was only for 30 years in my Ummah. Then is the Mulk, Sultanate, authority. And he approved the authority. Didn't disapprove. Holy Prophet ﷺ said in Abu Dawud, this first hadith is in Tirmizi, Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal, Tabarani. Second hadith in Tirmizi, Abu Dawud, Sunan Abu Dawud, and Jami Tirmizi, and Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal. Holy Prophet said, Khilafatun Nabuwwat, Salasuna Sana. Summa yu'ti Allahul mulka man yasha. So this was also proved. He said, Khilafah would only be for 30 years in my Ummah. Then Holy Prophet declares, after that there would be mulk, governments, authorities, and Almighty Allah will give authority and the government to anyone He wants. So this is an established fact by Holy Prophet. Now do they want to challenge the statement of Holy Prophet? So somebody wants to challenge the statement of Holy Prophet. It doesn't mean that this was not an ideal position what Holy Prophet said. Khilafah was an ideal thing. But he narrated that the consensus of Ummah would be on the Khilafah up to 30 years. Why he says afterward al-mulk, then consensus will go away. And he doesn't want that if there is no consensus, then there should be no authority and no government and there should be disunity. No. Then there would be mulk and sultan and imams and amirs and governments and authorities acceptable for Ummah, because the basic purpose is being served. If they act upon the guidance of Quran and Sunnah and work within the framework of Quranic authority, basic purpose is served. But he established the fact that the Khilafah with consensus of Ummah would remain for 30 years. Again in Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal, another hadith, Holy Prophet said, Khilafatu nabuvvatin summa yu'tillahu tabaraka wa ta'ala al-mulka man yasha. The successorship of my nabuwwah, Khilafah, would be for 30 years. Then Almighty Allah will give the authority and the governments to the people. Ahmad bin Hanbal, Sunan Abi Dawood, Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba. Then Holy Prophet said, As-Sultanu waliyun malla waliyalahu. Then he uses the words, because Islam is for the day of, till day of judgment. Sunan Abi Dawood, Kitabun Nikah, and Muslim Ahmad bin Hanbal, As-Sultan. Now he doesn't say Al-Khalifatu waliyun malla waliyalahu. Holy Prophet said that Sultan would be the wali, caretaker of those kids and children who don't have their wali. There are no parents, so he would be like the parents for them. And then he says, فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ خَرَجَ مِنَ السُّلْطَانِ شِبْرًا مَاتَ مِيتَةً جَاهِلِيَّةً. Holy Prophet says, now anyone who will go out of the Sultan, authority of the Islamic State, who will be detached, who will become disobedient to the Sultan, the authority of Islamic State, Mata mitatan jahiliya, his death would be mitatan jahiliya. This is again Sahih Bukhari, Kitabul Fitan, explaining the same hadith, giving the true version and concept. Bukhari, Kitabul Fitan, Babu Qawlin Nabi Satarawna Ba'di Umura. Hadith number is 6645. Very important hadith. And Sahih Muslim, Kitabul Imara, Babu Wujub Mulazamat Jama'at al-Muslimin. This word, Man kharaja min as-sultan shibran. Mitatan jahiliya. This is again in the reference of its explanation, interpretation. And that then Sultan is established and Holy Prophet accepts the concept of Sultan. Because the basic purpose was to establish the Islamic authority, whatever may be the caption and name. Then this in the days of the Banu Abbasiya Caliphate, when Abu Ja'far al-Mansur established his government, after that there were different governments and caliphates in the Islamic history. Up to 325. In Andalusia, the Spain, Abdul Rahman al-Thani was the caliph. In Baghdad, Razi Billah was the caliph. And in Caravan, Mahdi was the caliph. So all scholars and Aimma and Mujtahideen and authorities of Islam have been living in various times. They belong to Spain, and they belong to Baghdad, and they belong to various places. And all of these authorities and caliphates were be accepted as Islamic caliphates, and services to Islam were being rendered. And this was the basic thing. This is Dr. Subi Saleh, one of the contemporary scholars, An-Nuzum al-Islamiyya, his book. He writes the consensus on al-Khilafatu Rashida. This was the consensus time. It was Kanat Khilafatu Nabuwatin. Inaqadat bain al-Muslimina bil-Ijma'. After that, then various caliphs and various heads of the states, they started establishing their own. So I have mentioned these names. There were different caliphates and the governments they started. And then in the Abbasids period, during Abbasids Caliphate, as soon as the control went on losing the control, first of all, there was political authority everywhere, constitutional and political. Then it became moral authority. Just the states and in various parts of the world, they announced their own independent entity and authority. And a moral subservience was announced and declared for the caliphate. And finally it also came to its end, because there was no control was not possible all over the world. Administration of justice by single authority and fulfilling all the needs, necessities and duties and obligations of the government were not possible. So it became in 20. So in Andalusia it was different government now, Islamic. And the authorities of Islam were working under that. In Damascus, different authority. In Trablus, there was different Islamic authority. In Khurasan, Central Asian state, different authority. In Egypt, different authority. And in India, different authority of the empire of Indian Empire. So I have given you the whole history. If you say that all these declarations were kufr, then what would you say about this 1300 years history of Islam? The whole Muslim Ummah becomes kafir, ma'azallah, and deserving qatl. And the authorities and Muslims who worked under them and did not stand up to kill them is buji li khalifatain, because here is bayat for 2 khalifas or 3. Here was bayat with 10 khalifas, 12 people, heads of the states, and aimma and muhaddiseen and fuqaha and mujtahideen and classical authorities all over the world were working in different parts of the world, in various cities, in various countries, in various states. Books were written, all juristic books on jurisprudence, on Islam, on hadith, on tafsir, whatever you find, they were written in various countries, various cities. In the beginning, there was a loose control of the same caliphate, but finally it ended and independent states were declared, their entity was declared. So I have given you the Spanish, the Damascus, the Trablus, Khurasan, Misr and India and everywhere in Islamic history. And you see, never the Muslim authorities have challenged them. The whole 1000 years history of India, Islamic India, up to Mughal, nobody challenged on this base that this is the Bay of 2 Khalifa or this is the establishment of 2 Khilafah. No, no challenge. Nobody challenged here, nobody challenged in Arab, nobody challenged in Baghdad, nobody challenged in Spain, nobody challenged in Trablus, nobody challenged in Egypt, nobody challenged in Khurasan, in Central Asia, never. Because this had become the necessity of the time. The changing circumstances had created this situation, because there was no impediment, no prohibition on that. And the basis of the Sunnah was also allowing this because of the Medina state and all these things. So this is the basic concept. I have taken the main things for you. And there are many other things, inshallah, you will read sometime when this book is published. I think the concept of this Khilafah, it is complete now for you. MashaAllah. Wa ma alayna bil balagh.
طلع البدر علينا 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 طلع البدر علينا